button. I like to hide my knot on the upper part here, just right below the button, so it just comes up and down. In the case where you have 4 holes, you may want to go to the next 2 and just do a couple of times, and again I like to hide my knot just right below the button, so I have a nice finished part and it's secured. So have this kind of button. So what we do is just, unlike this one that you need to go like pushing the needle up and down, so what you need to do to this one, so like always I like to hide my knot here and just so now I'll just go this way and then come back, and when you pull, your button comes here. So you may want to do that a couple of times to secure the button, and when you're done you can just use the same process and just knot it here carefully, so the button is going to hide the knot, so you have a nice fixed button here. Okay, so most times when you're sewing a neckline, you'll need a hemming stitch, so I'm going to teach you how to do hem stitch. So it just go this way to hide the knot, then you pick a little, just a piece here from your fabric, and make sure it's not showing on the other side if you want to have a nice finished hem. Just pick up a little from the main fabric and just repeat that a couple of times. And just repeat that a couple of times, and you see that on the right side we don't have any thread showing, and especially if you used a match, when you're using a matching thread, so you shouldn't see any traces of stitch on the right side. So what you're doing here is picking a little piece of fabric here, then fixing it here, and then closing it up. Just a strand, so that way you have a nice finished hem. So you shouldn't see any traces. I used pink thread so that you're going to see the stitch I'm sewing, so you shouldn't see any traces on this side if you're using a matching thread. Next, I'm going to teach you invisible stitch. It's also called a slip stitch or a ladder stitch. So it's used to close a space if you don't want the thread to show or the stitch. So what I'm going to do is just to hide my knot. Okay, so a ladder stitch or slip stitch goes in opposite way, so it goes this way and then the other way. It goes an opposite way, it comes out. You can see it's closing. If you're using a matching thread, you shouldn't see any traces of thread, so it goes on the opposite way, so that way you have a nice finished invisible